Good evening, gents. Welcome back to another live chat. We're going to be going over tonight why most blokes don't get the results they want. And I'm talking results in terms of fat loss, in terms of the way they look, the way they feel, their energy, their sleep, their recovery, their testosterone. I'm talking about results. And it's not just in one area of life. It's not just in the health area of life. It's in all areas of life. We often feel like we just never quite make it. Tell me if this sounds familiar to you. You're like, I'm 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. I just thought I'd be a little bit further along than what I am right now. I thought I'd be doing a little bit better. I thought I'd lose a little bit more fat. I thought I'd have a bit more money. I thought I'd have a better relationship. If this sounds familiar, let me know, because a lot of guys get this, and it's because of one really, really simple thing, which I'm going to go through. I'm going to break down with you guys, and I'm going to make it very, very easy so that you can see it. And once I go through it, you'll just see it and you'll be like, oh, of course, it all makes sense. I mean, you look at like what most people tell you to do when it comes to being successful in any area. They say work hard, just work really, really fucking hard, and then you'll achieve all of your dreams. And I mean, if you look at that and you look at guys who are in the generation before us and the dream they were sold, they're like, if you work hard in a company for the next 30 years, maybe one day you'll become a manager, and then by the time you're 60 or 70, you'll retire. Right? That was the bullshit dream that was sold. And we get sold this shit, like work hard for a long period of time, sacrifice your soul, and eventually one day maybe you'll be happy. And that's really the root issue with all this. And we'll go deeper into that in a bit. Just quickly as well, guys, if you're watching this live, please comment live in the comment section below. If you're watching this as a replay, please make sure to comment replay so that we can know when you guys are on there, so that we can match our content to be most effective for you, right? So whenever we're on live, obviously this is a chance where we can go through and we can talk and you can ask me questions. When it's a replay, you can't be asking questions, obviously, because it's a replay. And so I'm going to cater my content to suit whatever's going to be better for you guys. Okay, so if you're watching this live, comment live. If you're watching this as a replay, make sure to comment replay. Now, at the same time, just one quick one before we go as well. If you get benefit, if you get value out of this, make sure to click the like button. If you click the like button or share it and spread it around. It's funny, I met an awesome guy called Christian today in at Bunnings, like near where I live, and he said, dude, I fucking love your shit. It's because of you guys who like this stuff and who share it and comment and bring more people into this group that we can actually help guys like Christian. Christian heard the video where I was talking about how the reason why men need to put ourselves first is because if we don't put ourselves first and our health suffers, the whole pack's fucked. Everyone we look after is fucked. And it's a really, really important thing that everybody needs to see. So if you get benefit out of these, make sure to click the like button, click the share, so that we can actually get this out to more and more and more people. All right? So coming back to it, this is the bullshit dream that we're sold. Work hard for a really, really long period of time, and then maybe, just maybe, you'll be happy. Maybe you'll have a wonderful relationship. Maybe you'll have good kids. Maybe you'll lose fat. Maybe you'll end up going out and having a job which is allowing you to be financially free. We need to break that. We need to break this mentality of working hard. And I know it sounds counterintuitive, like, James, isn't that the key thing? Yes, definitely work ethic is important. Right? Definitely work ethic is important to an extent, but going through and busting our balls all the time is not a smart thing at all, because what happens, right? And here's one thing that I learned just really quite recently. There was a bit of a game changer for me. One of the mistakes that we make is that we take this ball busting mentality, right? And we think, all right, cool, I'm going to hustle and I'm going to work really, really fucking hard for a long period of time. And then we go through and we make it so that it's actually not sustainable. We're working our ass off. We try to do everything perfectly. If we're dieting, we're going to eat 1,000 calories a day, right? And do 2 hours of cardio and 1 hour of gym, like whatever you choose to do. If it's work, we're going to work 80 hours a week and we're going to punish ourselves and we're going to smash ourselves. If it's our relationships, we're going to give up everything we do. We're going to give up the gym. We're going to give up sport. We're going to give up time with the boys, and we're just going to put it all into the relationship. With this idea of putting in this enormous amount of effort in, it just doesn't end up being sustainable. If we're going to commit to something, if we want to be successful, we need to plan long term. This is where we need to set boundaries for ourselves and be rock solid. Nobody ever talks about boundaries. If you look in terms of going back one generation, as I was talking about before, the idea of working in a job and then maybe one day you'll be recognized by your boss and you'll get a pay rise and all this sort of shit. And you see guys selling their souls. You see them working after hours. You see them sacrificing sleep. You see them sacrificing health. You see them sacrificing their stress. Fuck it, it happens to this day till as well. I see this in so many business owners. We're chasing this thing. I'm a business owner. I've done this before. We're chasing this financial freedom. We're chasing this this view of this wonderful freedom that we'll get one day somewhere down the road if we work really hard, if we work 100 hours a week, if we sacrifice everything for the business. We see this all the time, and it's a load of bullshit. Here's why. Because as you're busy sacrificing yourself, your performance goes down. As your sleep gets poorer, as your health gets poorer, as your happiness goes down, as your general fulfillment within life goes down, your output becomes way worse. We need to set boundaries for ourselves on what we will and what we won't do. And this is why the hustle mindset, this is why the work hard and one day it'll pay off mindset is bullshit. We need to set boundaries for us, because in that mindset, in the hustle mindset, in the work hard and one day it'll pay off, this implies that we need to sacrifice a part of ourselves, sacrifice a part of our soul for something else. And that is a total load of crap. You do not need to do that. You can do that, and many people have been very successful doing that. But I've seen many more people be fucking miserable from doing that. Instead of sacrificing ourselves, let's set our boundaries and let's put our needs first. What we need to do when it comes to our needs is this. We need to make sure, we need to make certain that we are looking after what is really important to us. Our sleep, our exercise, our nutrition, our basic health, looking after our testosterone, looking after all of the things that matter to us and are really, really important. If we can do that, and if we can set boundaries and say, hey, I'm training 5 days a week, I'm eating perfectly 3, 4, 5 times a day, whatever it is, I'm going to sleep my 6 hours a night or 8 hours a night or 10 hours a night. If we do this and we make sure that we have all of our boundaries set, if we have every single boundary set, that is when we're going to be successful. And that is how we're going to get what we want. Because I see all the time so many guys never quite make it. Over and over again. I see so many talented dudes. I see so many really, really talented guys who put their balls on the line. They go through and they work fucking hard at everything. Family, eating, training, whatever it is that they want to do. They work really, really hard for it, and they never quite get there. You know why? Because they don't set boundaries for them. You cannot perform at your best if you don't set boundaries for you. So, James, it's very easy for you to go say, oh, go set some boundaries and it's all going to be perfect. Yeah, totally, I get that. So where do you start? The very first thing is mapping out your summit. In the summit, there are a couple of key things. Summit is number one, where do you want to be and what life do you want to have? What are the things that you want? Not just, I want to make $1 million. I want to be financially free. I want to bang a lot of chicks. I want to have an amazing relationship. It's not just that. We want to look at all areas of our life. Health, wealth, relationships. We need to map out exactly where we want to be. What type of father do we want to be? What type of partner do we want to be? What type of business owner, employee? What type of money do we want to have? What type of physique do we want to have? How do we want to look? How do we want to feel on a daily basis? Where do we want to live? What do we want to live in? We need to map out this summit first and foremost and get crystal clear clarity on exactly where we want to be. Exactly where we want to be. Then after that, we need to set guidelines and guideposts to know whether we're on track. We need to set our values. We need to set up our map. We need to have a plan on how we're going to get from where we are right now to where we actually want to be. Right? We need to have a solvable problem. We need to have a position where we are, where we want to be, a position where we are, and how we're going to get from A all the way through to B. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about right now, comment Summit below and we'll hook you up with the Summit training. You need to know this. This is very, very important that you have it. Okay, so comment Summit below if you want it. I'll reach out and I'll drop you access to this and you'll be able to crush it with this stuff, right? The summit is the most important thing. We've spent hours and hours and hours working on with a lot of our clients this. It is such a game changer because it gives you absolute clarity on every single action that you want to take. Don't do any more of the hustle grind. Maybe one day I'll make it. Bullshit. That's crap. What we need to do is we need to have an actionable plan. We need to have boundaries around the way that we're going to act. And we need to make sure that we have certainty in what we're doing, not just a pipe dream. You see a lot of guys and they'll talk about, oh, I've got a dream of one day going over and fucking buying a farm and settling down and doing all this sort of shit when I'm 60, right? It's not a dream, bro. It's a hallucination. I'll tell you the difference between a dream and a hallucination. A dream is a goal, right? A goal that we have, an idealistic goal. The thing with a dream and a goal is that we have a plan to get there. If you don't have a plan, it's just a fucking hallucination. It's just something you say to make yourself feel good. And this happens. There's neurochemistry behind this, right? It's that every time we talk about our dreams and we talk about the things we want to achieve, we get this little spike of dopamine, right? But here's the thing. That little spike of dopamine makes you feel good now, but in the long term, if you don't hit it, it'll make you feel like shit. So instead of just creating dreams or hallucinations that'll never be achieved, create a dream, create a goal, but have an action plan of how to get there. Set boundaries around what you will and won't accept. And don't make the mistake that so many other guys do. Make sure that you actually have your boundaries and look after what's most important to you. Does that make sense, guys? Look, crew, on that note, I'll leave you all to it. If you want access to the Summit training, comment Summit below and we'll hook you up. We'll make sure you got access to that. If you got value out of this, make sure you smash the like button and make sure that you share it around so that we can help more dudes to go and crush it, because I see so many people, so many dudes in particular, really fuck this up and never, ever, ever get to where they want to be. I don't want that to be you. I want you guys to crush it. Nothing makes me happier than seeing you guys dominate, meeting you guys in fucking Bunnings, meeting you guys all around the place and seeing how well you're doing. That makes me immensely happy. I want to see you guys crush it every single day. Don't make the same mistake that so many other people do. I'll speak to you soon, guys.